This is On Point with Miss Britt, bringing you week 7 college football recap. And this week did not disappoint at all. We had some very exciting games. So let's get into it. So we had number 1 ranked Georgia versus Vanderbilt, and there was nothing to really talk about there. It was a blowout, 55-0. Georgia's QB Stetson Bennett threw for 289 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. His first scoring pass, those were his first scoring passes in nearly a month. So, I mean, I didn't expect nothing less. It was Vanderbilt. OSU, they're still ranked number 2. They had a bye week, so they will be playing Iowa this Saturday. And then the game of the season so far, number 2 ranked Alabama versus number 6 ranked Tennessee. And it did not disappoint. Tennessee finally snapped a 15-year losing streak and beat Alabama 52-49. Tennessee kicker Chase McGrath, he made a 40-yard game-winning field goal after Alabama's kicker Will Ricard missed a 50-yard field goal attempt. And the game was tied at 15 seconds. Hendon Hooker, he drove the Vols 45 yards in 13 seconds to set up that game-winning field goal. So, good game. Kudos to them. They did good. I want to say both defenses, they struggled on both sides. Like, it just was not happening. It just wasn't it. Tennessee's Jalen Hyatt, he caught 6 passes for 207 yards, setting a Tennessee record with 5 touchdowns. He was balling. Bryce Young completed 35 passes for 455 yards and 2 touchdowns. So this game was just nothing but scoring. Alabama had 17 penalties for 130 yards. That's the most in Saban's era of being the coach, which, that really hurt them. Also, Alabama, they had muffed a punt in the first half with a Tennessee recovery, and Saban started going crazy on the sideline. So this game definitely lived up to the hype. The fans, they finally got their just due win in 15 years. They freaking took the goalpost and rode the goalpost out the stadium, and now the goalpost is in the river. So, congrats, Tennessee. Now, Tennessee is ranked number 3. Alabama's ranked number 6. All right, we had number 4 Clemson versus Florida State. Clemson's QB, DJ Uiagalelei, he threw for 203 yards and 3 touchdowns. Clemson scored on 6 straight drives. Clemson's Will Shipley had 20 carries for 21 yards and 6 catches for 48 yards. Florida State kept up with Clemson for the first 20 minutes of the game, but then defensive end Myles Murphy, he sacked Florida State's QB Jordan Travis to force a fumble to set Clemson up in good scoring field position, and they ended up scoring a touchdown on that drive. And then from there, Clemson just went on scoring. Florida State did come back and they cut Clemson's lead to 34-28 in the fourth with 2 touchdown passes with 2 minutes and 17 seconds left. But then Clemson recovered the onside kick and basically put the game away, and Clemson ended up winning 34-28. So Florida State, they tried to come back, but it wasn't enough, and that was that game. And Clemson is now ranked number 5. And the reason why they are now ranked number 5 is because Michigan, they were number 5, and they put away number 10 Penn State. It was a massacre. And the run game was on point all game. So we had Donovan Edwards, he ran for a go-ahead 67-yard touchdown. And Blake Corum, he had a 61-yard run for a touchdown on consecutive snaps in the third quarter. Michigan finished with 418 rushing yards against a team that wasn't even giving up fewer than 80 rushing yards per game against previous opponents. In the first half, Penn State, they took a lead 14-13 when Curtis Jacobs had a 47-yard interception return for a pick 6. Donovan Edwards, Michigan's Donovan Edwards had 173 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Blake Corum, he was 166 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. J.J. McCarthy, Michigan's quarterback, was 17 for 24, 145 yards, and an interception. And this week they have a bye week, and they are now ranked number 4. And Penn State, I believe, is like 16 now due to that loss. That was Penn State's first loss. Then we had number 8 Oklahoma State versus number 13 TCU. TCU's Kendre Miller, he scored a 2-yard touchdown run in double overtime. This was the Big 12's last remaining undefeated teams. TCU trailed after Oklahoma State's quarterback Spencer Saunders had a touchdown runs on first 2 drives. TCU still trailed by 2 in the fourth quarter. Then TCU's Max Duggan, he threw for a 25-yard touchdown pass to Quentin Johnston on second play of overtime. Oklahoma State returned the favor. They faced a 4th and 9 when Spencer Saunders found Braden Johnson open for a 29-yard gain to the 1. And that set up Dominic Richards' touchdown run to tie the game in overtime. And then that's when it went into double overtime, and TCU's Kendre Miller, he scored a 2-yard touchdown. So TCU wins that 40-43. And one of the biggest upsets of the night was number 7 USC versus number 20 Utah. So Utah's Cameron Rising, he was the MVP of the game pretty much. He threw for 415 yards. He ran for 3 touchdowns. He became first Utah quarterback to throw for 400 yards since Brian Johnson against San Diego State in 2005. Rising rushed a yard for a touchdown on 4th down to set up a 2-point conversion. He ran up the middle for a go-ahead 2-point conversion with 48 seconds left on the clock, putting Utah ahead. Utah dedicated this game, by the way, to Ty Jordan and Aaron Lowe. They were former players who passed away tragically within a year of each other, and that happened last year. USC's Caleb Williams, he threw for 381 yards, 5 touchdowns. And Utah, they held Trojans on their last drive and ended up winning the game 43-42. Number 18 Syracuse, they beat number 15 NC State 24-9. And then I just want to shout out Jackson State in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. They are now 6-0. They beat Bethune-Cookman 48-8. Also, Tom Brady signed Shadur Sanders to an NIL contract, so that was dope. All right, so I got to bring this up because not only was there a good football weekend, we had good boxing as well. So we got Clarissa Shields. She defeated Savannah Marshall to become the undisputed middleweight champion. Alicia Baumgardner, she defeated Michaela Mayer by split decision, which unifies the junior lightweight belts. Devin Haney, he defended his undisputed lightweight title in a rematch against Kambosos Jr. in Australia, and they're saying his next fight should be Lomachenko. And then Deontay Wilder, he's back after, having those 2 losses to Tyson Fury. He decided to come back to fight, and he did a right-hand KO in round 1, finishing off Robert Helenius. And then Caleb Plant, he was on the undercard for the Wilder-Helenius fight, and he knocked out Anthony Durrell in the co-main event. And then also tonight is NBA opening night, starts at 7:30. We got the Celtics versus the 76ers, followed by the Warriors versus Lakers. And that is all the updates I have you for this week. See you next week, and I'm out.